Living on your own for the first time sounds like freedom. No parents, no roommates, no one telling you to turn the volume down or stop eating shredded cheese out of the bag. You finally get to do whatever you want, whenever you want. But then week 1 hits, and you realize that you don't actually know how to cook. You forget to buy toilet paper. You start hearing noises in your apartment that sounds like a demon crawling through your pipes. And suddenly that freedom feels more like a mildly chaotic survival game. So today we're talking about the reality of living alone for the first time, from the false confidence to the late night panic spirals to the moment you realize you'd literally pay someone to do your laundry. Moving into your own place for the first time is like hitting the new game button on life. You're walking into an empty apartment with nothing but a suitcase, an IKEA bag, and an inflated sense of confidence. You put your keys on the counter like, this is mine now. I'm unstoppable. The vibes are immaculate. You're already planning where the couch is gonna go, even though you don't have a couch. You're sitting on the floor eating fast food, and it feels elite. There's no furniture, no decorations, just pure delusion and optimism. You don't even mind that everything echoes. You're just pacing around your empty apartment like, damn, I really made it out. No more sharing a bathroom, no more awkward small talk with roommates, no more hearing your parents argue about Bluetooth, just you alone, unbothered, king/queen/unpaid intern of your new domain. Now you're saying some dumb shit like, I think I'll read more now. I'll definitely cook every night. I'm gonna wake up early and stretch. You're lying, but you believe it, because in that moment you're on top of the world, and nothing can ruin this high, except, you know, life. Which brings us into week 1, the honeymoon phase. This is the best week. Peak delusion. You feel unstoppable. You're walking around in a towel, eating pizza rolls for breakfast, blasting music at 2 a.m. Nobody can tell you shit, because there is no one to tell you shit. You light a candle and suddenly your apartment's like cozier. You wipe down your little counter and call it deep cleaning. You even fold your towels like they do in hotels. Badly, but it's the effort that counts. You start giving your apartment a fake personality like, this is my tea corner. You don't even drink tea. This is my reading nook. There's no chair there. It's just the floor and a power outlet. You FaceTime your friends like, yeah, you know, I've been focusing more on my space lately. Translation: you put up one poster and moved a chair twice. You make one pot of spaghetti and then suddenly you're a chef. You're plating it like, the presentation is good. You pour tap water into a wine glass and then you call it elevated living. Romanticizing everything at this point. Doing the dishes is therapeutic. Taking out the trash is grounding. Sitting on the floor eating cereal, it's minimalistic. But give it a few days, that candle will burn out, the spaghetti leftovers will get sketchy, and reality will start kicking in. But for now, you're vibing. It's nice. Week 1. Week 2 is where the cracks start to show. This is the, oh, I have to do everything realization. The dishes start piling up. You tell yourself, I'll do them after I eat, but then you eat again and again. And now your sink looks like a Jenga tower of shame. The trash, still there, overflowing. You've started doing that thing where you press it down to make space, like that's a real solution. At this point, the trash bag is basically a roommate. Laundry? Yeah, no. You've been wearing the same hoodie for 5 days straight. It's developing its own personality. You do the sniff test on socks now, and they're failing. Your fridge has turned into a haunted museum. There's one shriveled lemon rolling around like a lonely marble, half a block of cheese with no purpose, a container with something that's either sauce or a science experiment, and the cucumber that you bought, yeah, no, it died a slow, honorable death. You realize that you have to actually plan your own meals. No one is just gonna magically make dinner anymore. So now you're standing there in the kitchen at 7 p.m. like, what can I make with rice, mustard, and string cheese? The answer is nothing. So you go to bed hungry, peasant. That high from week 1 wears off fast, and you're no longer the confident, independent adult that you thought you were. At week 3, you've reached rock bottom. This is it. This is the crash. The illusion of freedom has fully shattered, and now you're just alone. Not in a peaceful, I love my space way, more like a, if I disappeared right now, would anyone even notice before rent's due kind of way. You wake up at 2 p.m., scroll on your phone for an hour, and then just stare at the ceiling. That same ceiling fan that you've been looking at for days. You're not even sad, you're just blank. You haven't seen another human being in 3 days. The only voice you've heard is from the DoorDash app. You start craving interaction, not even meaningful conversation, just like someone saying, hey, even if it's a scam call, even if it's a Jehovah's Witness, at this point, you'd invite them in for coffee. Your hygiene, non-existent. You don't even know what day it is. There's a towel on the floor. You've convinced yourself it's clean because it smells like nothing. Your apartment feels gross, not just messy, emotionally gross. It's not a home right now. It's a holding cell for your existential dread. You're eating meals that can barely be called meals. Ketchup on bread, dry cereal, you pour water in the pasta pot, and then just kind of stare at it like, is this really my life? This is the week where you question everything. Do I actually want to live alone? Did I peak in high school? Is this just it? You go to sleep at 5 a.m. not because you're busy, but because your sleep schedule is on a chokehold. You wake up hating sunlight, you avoid mirrors, you rewatch the same YouTube video 5 times because you didn't even have the energy to find a new one. This is not living alone, this is being stranded on an island with Wi-Fi and no will to use it. You don't even cry, you just sit, like a background NPC waiting for a main character to walk in and fix it all. Week 4 is the turning point. This is when rock bottom gets boring. You wake up every day, bed unmade, dishes crusted, empty fast food bag on your chest, and for some reason, you're just done. You don't even plan it. There's no motivational playlist. You just stand up, look around, and go, okay, this is disgusting. I live in filth. I am filth. And something flips. You put music on, loud. Not sad music, not vibey lo-fi. We're talking angry, cleaning energy. You start scrubbing like you're trying to erase the past 3 weeks. You light every candle you own. You Lysol the air like it's toxic. You finally take out the trash, and the weight you feel lifting it from your soul is spiritual. You mop floors for the first time and think, damn, is this what being a woman in a Swiffer commercial feels like? Then the momentum kicks in. You throw out expired food, you do laundry and you fold it and not just dump it on the chair. You open a window, the sunlight hits your face like a baptism. You shower, you brush your teeth and floss. Unironically, you put on a real outfit even though you're not going anywhere, because it's not about where you're going, it's about who you're becoming. You even eat a real meal, like with protein and a vegetable. Sure, it's just a rotisserie chicken and microwave broccoli, but still that's growth. And suddenly you feel okay. Not amazing, not fixed, but okay. The space feels lighter, you start thinking again, you're planning again, you're remembering that this is your place. Not a prison, not a mess, it's a blank canvas. And for the first time in weeks, you realize you're gonna be alright. Week 5 is the adjustment phase. This week hits different. You're not spiraling, you're not pretending everything's perfect, you're just moving. Slowly, but forward. You've got a semi-routine now. You wake up, you make your bed, sometimes. You brush your teeth before checking your phone, that's growth. You've even started eating breakfast again. Not like a good one, but a consistent one, you know, toast, yogurt, banana maybe. You feel like a suburban dad who has his life together and owns a shed. You start putting things where they go, without thinking. Keys in the tray, shoes by the door. You're no longer living in a temporary tornado. Your spaces finally function like a space, not a storage unit. Groceries. You're shopping smarter. Less frozen garbage, more real human food. You start building your little rotation of meals. Eggs, chicken, rice, pasta, repeat. You've mastered the concept of seasoning, kind of. You're also budgeting a bit now. You still cry when rent hits, but you've accepted it. You're not overdrafting every week, and that's what we call financial maturity. And socially, you're texting people back, you're making plans, even if it's just come over and sit on the floor while we eat frozen dumplings and talk about nothing. That's progress. There's less dread when you wake up. Your apartment feels like a home now, not in a corny way, in a I don't want to burn this place down anymore kind of way. You're not crushing adulthood, but you're no longer getting crushed by it. And that shift, that's the whole game. Now, week 6 and beyond is the flow state. This is where it all starts to click. Living alone doesn't feel like a challenge anymore, it just feels normal. You've got routines now, you clean before it gets bad, you do your laundry, grocery shopping is efficient, you've accepted that bills exist, you're even sleeping better, and emotionally you're steady, you're not chasing a high, but you're not crashing every week. You've built a life. Not a perfect one, but a one that fits you. And yeah, maybe you still don't know how to do taxes, but you figured it out. And that's more than most people ever do. But yeah, that's the different stages of living alone. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, and if you didn't, leave a dislike. I post all my videos early to Spotify if you want to go check them out. The link is down below, and I'll see you guys all later. Peace.